Alright, so welcome back to Sarver's RV. Today we're going to be working on the Slash Ultimate. This is actually the first car that I picked up when I got back into this RC hobby. It's been pretty indestructible. It's honestly ran flawlessly. Haven't been too many upgrades that I've honestly been needing to do to it. I put a motor heat sink on it. So one of the problems though is fitting a larger battery pack into this car. It's pretty difficult. Even with flipping it to the 25 millimeter, it's hard to get into the little tie downs here to put it in. So today we're going to be installing the Hot Racing battery strap kit. Here is the part number here if you'd like to order that. I'm also going to be doing some aluminum wheel hexes, and then in a separate video I'll install the Hot Racing I think they call it a motor mount, but this piece here, so that would be billet aluminum, and it has a bearing support. So they're common to get hot and melt that system there. So we'll be installing that too in a different video. So to get started, you're going to need a 2 millimeter, and both of these bolts are under here on the chassis, here and here, here and here. So we'll go ahead and get started removing those. They're just going to essentially pop right out. So Traxxas does make their own system, which is basically taller pieces of this in the front and the rear mount. And at that point, you're still using the strap system. But although I've never dealt with that one in person, just looking at it, I feel like you become limited to, once you extend it, you're basically working with bigger packs. The strap gives you the adjustability, so that's why I chose to go with the strap system. So again, those just pop right out, and unfortunately this has never been taken off, so quite a bit of dirt and sand mounted down in there. All right, we'll go ahead and tear into this. So it does come with some supplied screws, and these will be going into aluminum, so you're going to want to put a dab of thread locker on those. You got two long and two short. I'm guessing the short most likely goes in the front. So just by the shape of it, looks like this one will be going here in the front, and it looks like you're going to be ditching your foam piece here, and this will fit in the rear. So no screws in yet, but that's essentially what it's going to look like, and you're going to have to ditch this foam piece. So take some blue Loctite. Into aluminum, you just need to snug these up. No reason to really torque them down. If you could take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to get this channel off the ground, and if I can, eventually I would like to do some merchandise and possibly do some giveaways. Probably start off with parts. You know, if you buy merch, you get entries into a giveaway for parts, and if we can get enough going, eventually we might be able to do some ready to run cars. If we can make our way to that. So we'll go ahead and get this last screw in. All right, those are snugged up. Like I said, you will have to remove your little foam piece to be able to access the strap loop there. Alright, so it's looking like it's going to be pretty tough. I should have looped this through on one of them beforehand. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take these back out real quick. Apologize, guys. So you could orient this strap either way, it looks like. I'm going to choose to have the retainer piece in the rear just to, I don't know, I prefer to be able to do my strapping from the front. So you will loop this through here. Insert that back in. Alright, so once you get it, that's essentially what it's going to look like. And you will loop this back through the retainer, like so. And at this point, we'll test fit a battery. Again, I think it's going to work best to already have this started. Slash just with the low center of gravity chassis, everything's sat way down in here, so it makes it hard to feed these through if you don't have an open space. So once you get your battery snug into the tray, you'll just be able to adjust the strap to whatever battery size that you have, whatever height, and there you have it. So this is the Hot Racing low center of gravity chassis battery mount. As you can see, you got plenty of adjustability here. You know, if you have an upgraded ESC and motor and you're running 4S, you should definitely be able to run a 4S battery in here as long as you get the width right. This one does still have the small foam strip in here. You could take that out and get yourself a little bit more clearance. But that's about it for the battery strap. So we'll see how this works. I mean, it feels super secure in there. The battery's already so snug to begin with. But next up, we'll be doing the aluminum wheel hexes. A bunch of my buddies, they've all stripped out their wheel hexes. So luckily I haven't, but I'm just going to do it as a preventative measure. And I got the Atomic Racing ones, and they actually have it's split to where when you put a screw through the side, it actually clamps down on it. So it'll keep your dog bone pin in there a lot tighter and keep that from popping out. And then it also will help with when you go to pull your wheels off, if you change tires frequently at all. It will keep the hex from popping off every time that you pull off your wheel. So we'll go ahead and get started on that install. So next on the list we have the aluminum wheel hexes. So these are pretty prone, the stock plastic ones are pretty prone to stripping, and once they strip, it's really prone to strip your rims. So it's a good practice if you haven't stripped them already to replace them with aluminum hexes. So I went with the Atomic Racing wheel hexes, and here is the part number for that if you're interested. So these are actually the clamp-on style. It has a screw that goes in there to tighten the wheel nut around the pin. And when you do that, it basically allows it for it to stay on that pin. So if you remove your wheels a lot, it won't pull the hexes off. And we're going to get started on that now. I'll probably do the first one, show you how it's done, pretty straightforward. And after that, I'll probably time lapse the rest of it just to make it quicker. So you're going to want to get whatever wheel wrench you have to remove your retaining nuts here. Pull your wheel off. So here's the plastic nut that we were talking about, and you may have to pry these off with a screwdriver, a little bit of force. So it'll pop off like that. There's your plastic hex. You have your little dog bone pins. It comes with dog bone pins. We'll check size comparison to see if it is the same as stock. So they do appear to be just maybe slightly larger in diameter, so we'll go ahead and use the new pins that came with it. Probably go ahead and get these started. It's a little easier to manage on the truck. Since this is going into aluminum, you'll want to put a dab of Loctite on them. Check. So this is a 1.5 millimeter on these. Just go ahead and get that started. You will place your wheel nut on there, your hex, and then get these tightened down. Probably no need to truly, torque these things down. I'd say just pretty snug where you get a good clamp. As you can see, those are tight. At that point, you can go ahead and put your wheel back on, wheel assembly. Followed by your axle nut. Snug those as well. All right, so the rest I'll do in time lapse, and then we'll follow up when we're done. So that'll do it for this round of mods on the Slash Ultimate. Next up, I do have on order the aluminum hot racing motor mount, so it'll replace this whole plastic system here. I've heard the aluminum does act as an additional motor heatsink, but the primary reason is it has a carrier bearing support for the output shaft. So we'll go ahead and in the next episode on the Slash run, we'll do that hot racing motor mount, and basically you'll remove your rear section, pull your slipper clutch assembly out, unmount your motor, and you'll also be replacing that whole motor mount, as I said, and then reassembling. So that'll be the next video on the Slash build. And then coming up here shortly, I also have some GPM aluminum push rods and toe links for the Mini E-Revo, as well as the hot racing steerage linkage assembly. So that'll be a video on the 1/16 Revo as well.